sit down and listen carefully, because I have stood where you are standing. I have felt what you are feeling, and I have made every mistake that you are about to make, or have already made, sitting in front of that ticker, watching the numbers move against you, telling yourself that this next trade will set it right. It will not. What you are experiencing in this moment is not a trading problem. It is a problem of the mind, and until you understand that distinction with absolute clarity, the market will take from you everything you give it, and then demand more. Let me tell you what happens to a man when he loses money in the market. Not what he thinks happens. What actually happens. His mind turns against him, quietly, without warning. The loss does not register as a business matter, a simple entry on the wrong side of the ledger. No, it registers as an insult, as a wound to his pride. Something deep and ancient inside of him rises up and says, I will not accept this. I will get it back. And that voice, gentlemen, that voice is the most dangerous sound a speculator will ever hear. I called it the enemy within, and I fought that enemy every day of my trading life. When a man suffers a sharp loss, something changes in his thinking. The cool, deliberate faculties that allowed him to read the tape with patience and precision, they go quiet, and something far more primitive takes their place. He becomes urgent. He becomes certain. He stops reading what the market is telling him and starts telling the market what it owes him. This is the first step into the abyss. He begins to believe that the capital he has lost is still out there somewhere, that the market holds it in trust, and that if he presses hard enough, long enough, with enough conviction, it will be returned to him. He increases his line. He doubles his commitment. He tells himself this is boldness. But it is not boldness. It is desperation wearing the costume of courage. And the market is not fooled by costumes. The money is gone. The market owes you nothing. It never did. It is indifferent to your need, your history, your losses, and your pride. It moves according to forces far larger than any one man's account, and it will not pause for sentiment. I learned this lesson at great personal cost, more than once, and then comes the moment I have seen destroy more men than any panic or crash I have ever witnessed. The moment when a speculator's purpose changes, without him knowing it has changed. He sits down at that ticker believing he is speculating, but he is no longer speculating. He has crossed into something else entirely. He is no longer trying to make a profit. He is trying to satisfy a feeling. He is waging a private war against something that cannot be defeated by aggression, because the market has no nerve endings. It cannot feel your fury, and the harder you press it, the more indifferent it becomes. A man in this state is not a speculator. He is a gambler in a rage. And the house always wins against a man in a rage. Now let me speak to you about something I observed in myself, something I found deeply humbling to admit, but which I believe to be absolutely true. When a man is in the grip of this frenzy, he stops seeing, not metaphorically. He genuinely stops perceiving the information that is directly in front of him. The tape tells him one story. The conditions in the market tell him one story, but he reads neither. He reads only what he needs to see. He finds in every hesitation a reversal. He finds in every quiet moment the beginning of his recovery. He bends reality to match his need, rather than bending his need to match reality. This is the great blindness of desperate aggression, and I have never seen it produce a winning outcome. Not once. Not in 40 years of watching men trade. The disciplined speculator operates by an entirely different set of principles. He is in no hurry. He is cold, not in temperament, but in judgment. He waits. He does not force a trade simply because he has the capital to place it. He does not move because he is restless or wounded or eager to prove something to himself. He moves only when conditions are right, and when they are not right, he sits still. He sits still for days if necessary, for weeks. I once said that there is nothing new on Wall Street, and I meant it. The patterns of human behavior in the market, the greed, the fear, the revenge, the recklessness, they are as old as commerce itself. What separates the man who endures from the man who is destroyed is not intelligence. It is temperament. It is the capacity to sit still, when sitting still is the correct position. Most men cannot do it now. Here is what I believe every serious speculator must build for himself, and I wish someone had impressed this upon me in my earliest years. You must have a rule, a hard-written, inviolable rule that says, when I have lost a certain amount in a single session, I close my book and I walk away. Not because I have given up, not because I am weak, but because I understand that a man who's just absorbed a sharp loss is not in possession of his full faculties. His judgment is compromised. His reading of the tape is corrupted by emotion, and a compromised judgment acting on real money in a real market will produce predictably poor results. Walking away is not retreat. Walking away is the recognition that the battlefield has turned against you for today, and that a general who presses forward into an unfavorable position out of wounded pride does not win wars. He simply loses men faster. Give yourself time. Remove yourself from the ticker. Put distance between yourself and the loss. Because what happens to a man with the passage of time and genuine rest is remarkable. The fever breaks. The urgency fades. The cold clarity that made him a good speculator in the first place. It returns, and he can see again. I found that a man needed at minimum 1 full day away from the market after a bad run, not reviewing his positions, not recalculating his losses. Away, completely away. Because the mind, when given rest, corrects itself. The passions cool, and the ability to reason, to read conditions as they are, rather than as one wishes them to be, is restored. But during that time away, there is one thing I urge every man to do, not to study the charts, not to plan the recovery trade, but to sit quietly and examine with complete honesty what he was feeling in the moments before he pressed too hard. What drove him to increase his lying when every sound principle said to reduce it? What voice told him that this time would be different? Name that voice. Write it down. Understand it, because a force you cannot name controls you, and a force you can name you can resist. When you return to the market, you must return as a new man. Not the man who was wounded last week, not the man who was owed a recovery. A new man, looking at current conditions with fresh eyes, as though he has never lost $1 in his life. Every speculation is a fresh proposition. The market does not remember your last trade. It does not carry forward your losses as a debt. Each morning the tape begins again, and the only way to trade correctly is to begin again with it. Stripped of grievance, stripped of the need to recover, stripped of everything except the cool reading of what is actually happening in the market right now. This is what I call starting from nothing, and it is harder than any technical analysis a man will ever attempt, because it requires him to discipline not his eye, but his pride. Before you place any trade after a losing run, ask yourself one question honestly. Are you acting on the basis of what the market is showing you today, or are you acting on the basis of what you need the market to give you? If there is any doubt at all, you do not act. You wait, you watch. You let the market show its hand before you put your money behind your judgment. There is no shortage of opportunity in the market. There never has been, but there is a profound shortage of moments when a man's judgment is clear enough to seize those opportunities without destroying himself in the process. Those moments are precious. Do not waste them trading from a wounded position. When you do return, trade smaller than you think you need to. Much smaller, not because the opportunity is smaller, but because you are rebuilding something that cannot be rebuilt through boldness alone. You are rebuilding your confidence in your own judgment, and that is rebuilt slowly through a sequence of correct decisions, not through one dramatic recovery trade that happens to go your way. Small, correct decisions, executed faithfully, one after another. That is how confidence is reconstructed. That is how a speculator finds his footing again after the ground is shifted beneath him. Now let me speak to the broader question, the question that underlies all of this. How does a man come to trade well over a lifetime, rather than brilliantly for a season and then not at all? The amateur speculator measures himself by the outcome of each individual trade. A win confirms his genius. A loss indicts his judgment. His emotional state rises and falls with every take of the tape. He is exhausted by the end of each day, not by the work, but by the feeling. And a man governed by feeling cannot maintain the steadiness that the market demands. The professional speculator, the man who lasts, measures himself differently. He understands that his edge, his method, his principle can only be judged across a great many trades over a great span of time. Any single trade can go against a sound position. The market is not so simple that it rewards correct thinking immediately and consistently, but across 50 trades, across 100 trades, across a full season of speculation, a man with genuine discipline and a sound reading of conditions will produce results that no amount of luck can replicate, and no single bad day can destroy. This understanding removes the ego from the individual trade, and that removal is everything. When a man's ego is not attached to the outcome of each position, he can close a losing trade without grief. He can sit on a winning trade with patience, and he can pass on a trade that does not meet his conditions without feeling that he has missed his opportunity, because he knows another will come. In my time, I kept careful records, not simply of my trades, but of my thinking at the time I made them, what I believed the market was telling me, what my judgment was. And over time, those records revealed patterns in myself that no other instrument could have shown me. I could see in black and white the conditions under which my judgment failed, the hours at which I was most likely to act impulsively, the types of market conditions that exposed weaknesses in my temperament rather than my analysis. Know yourself as a speculator, not simply the market, yourself, your patterns, your weaknesses, the specific circumstances under which you are most likely to abandon your principles, because those circumstances will recur. They always do, and the man who knows they are coming can prepare for them. The man who does not know cannot, at the end of all of it, after all the winning and losing and recovering and losing again that makes up the life of a speculator. I came to one conclusion above all others. The method is not enough. The reading of the tape is not enough. Even genuine insight into market conditions is not enough. What matters most, what determines whether a man endures or is consumed, is the discipline he brings to the execution of his principles day after day, in good markets and bad, when he is confident and when he is wounded, when the tape runs with him and when it runs against him. A man who guards the quality of his decisions will eventually be rewarded by his results. A man who abandons his principles under pressure will eventually be punished by his results. This is not philosophy. This is the mechanism of the market. It is as reliable and as merciless as any force in nature. Protect your process. Guard your judgment. And when the enemy within begins to speak, when that urgent, wounded voice says, press harder, go larger, get it back, recognize it for what it is, and sit still. Before you return to that ticker, I want you to do one thing. Write down your last episode of revenge speculation, not the trades, the feelings, what drove you, what you told yourself, what it cost you, and then write down the rule, the specific, hard, unbreakable rule that will govern how much you are willing to lose before you walk away from the tape for the day. Write it plainly. Commit to it absolutely. The market will be there tomorrow, and the day after, and for as long as men have capital and hope. It will continue to offer opportunity to those who approach it with discipline. You do not need to recover today. You need to survive today, so that you may speculate wisely tomorrow. I leave you with the one truth that 40 years behind the tape burned into me beyond all others. The game of speculation is the most uniformly fascinating game in the world, but is not a game for the stupid, the mentally lazy, the man of inferior emotional balance, or the get-rich-quick adventurer. They will die poor.